Researchers have said that recent discoveries only give us a small glimpse into our history, go on to say that over 98% of our ancient history has been lost. Ancient carvings and structures can give us an idea of what certain civilizations were capable of, and there's some within the archaeological community that disagree with how advanced certain cultures were. One that's shrouded in mystery is that of the Maya. Recently, very strange photographs have been shared on social media, claiming that amateur archaeologists found these artifacts while digging. One report states the artifacts were discovered during the building of the Mayan train. Currently, construction work is underway to build a large railway in Mexico. The construction began in December of 2018, with various people coming forward and saying that strange discoveries have been made in the area. These mysterious artifacts were discovered in a region known as Quintana Roo. There's no other way to describe these artifacts other than they look like extraterrestrials, possessing big eyes, a large oval head, and just matching the overall shape of the grey alien. This has had social media users convinced that these are the real deal. Because these images were only posted recently though, it's been tough to track down more information about them, who found them and where they're currently being held. Amateur researchers though were obviously excited when these artifacts started to be shared, claiming that it could be the evidence to back up their claims that UFOs have been visiting us for thousands of years. One of the things that people struggle with is trying to track down where these first came from, and who took the images. The stories behind these images usually follows a similar theme. A person or a group of people digging close to the Mayan temples discover strange looking artifacts. Reports on where these artifacts were found varies depending on who you talk to, with websites not revealing much information. Regardless though, they report that a team of archaeologists were surprised to find the ancient ruins, saying that it's one of the biggest discoveries in the area to date. Some have claimed that these are too good to be true, with one Mexican archaeologist saying that these are fakes, and that although they were allegedly found with other Mayan artifacts, it's thought they were placed here in order to make the findings seem more genuine, with one amateur archaeologist saying the following: "I don't think these images are fake. I think these are real objects, but they are not from the same age as the other artifacts found in the area. These were likely created in a nearby workshop and placed there on purpose. The overall look of them is just off. They don't look old and look very amateur in appearance." End quote. People are still waiting for more information to come out about these artifacts. When you think of space exploration, you may think of companies like NASA and modern day equipments like rockets and space stations. However, there's various scriptures and books that detail our ancient ancestors possessing knowledge of the stars. This has caused some interesting conversations to be put forward, with some saying that our ancestors may have had more knowledge of the stars' celestial bodies in the universe than we previously thought. How then were they able to do this? Back in those days they didn't possess the technology or equipment we have today. Or did they? Drawings and writings may contradict this, and although this sounds outlandish, these theories are based on evidence that we've managed to discover in recent years. Perhaps one of the most interesting discoveries comes from that of the Mayan civilization. In the 7th century AD, Pacal the Great was the ruler of this time. During his time, he oversaw some of the most impressive sites of Palenque. During this time, the civilization was able to build things that many would say was impossible. They built complex streams that would transport them fresh water. However, one image of the ruler has caused much speculation among certain groups. The image in question depicts the king descending into the Mayan underworld. All around the carving we see objects that are said to represent celestial objects. This includes Venus, the Sun and the Moon. Some individuals have suggested that what this shows is the ancient Mayan civilization working on their most recent invention, and that structure has something to do with space travel. Our ancestors were obsessed with space, and all over the world these ancient civilizations found ways to observe the cosmos. Why were they interested in space, and what do these carvings show us? In recent years, researchers have been able to find writings that prove that ancient man was interested in the stars. This discovery was made in 1961 in Romania. An engineer discovered a strange-looking manuscript. While looking through the ancient papers, something caught the researcher's attention. It turns out the papers were detailing concepts about rocketry, and this existed in a time when these types of things weren't meant to be around. The individual who worked in these designs was a man by the name of Conrad Haas, and he lived between 1509 and 1576. Interestingly, although he was able to design these incredible concepts of rocketry, not much is known about his life, but due to the findings by the engineer, it's caused scholars and researchers to become much more interested in this man. One of the first things the researchers noticed was that these drawings were very similar to that of the multi-stage rockets. This is complex rocketry, and is something that consists of 2 or more engines that are placed on top of this. This is normally used in rockets that need to reach high altitude. So the question here is, why was someone hundreds of years ago trying to create a multi-stage rocket? It turns out that Mr. Conrad Haas was a talented man. The manuscript that was discovered is over 450 pages, and hints at Conrad Haas being a master engineer and someone who was looked upon during this era. The manuscript also details artillery and rocket technology. Interestingly, the invention Haas was working on can be found in the manuscript. Conrad Haas was taken on by the military at an unknown time, and some have theorized this was because at the time he would have been one of the most impressive engineers around, having a good understanding of rocketry in a time when not many people would have understood what it was. It's incredible that someone during this time was even able to come up with the ideas of rockets, and researchers have even said that he's one of the first people to put into writing the concept of multi-stage rockets, further saying that his concepts were put to test and they did in fact work. Incredibly, his work doesn't stop there. He went on to design in detail spacecrafts, delta fins, bell nozzles, and even liquid fuel. Being one of the first people to create complex things like this, it begs the question of where he was getting these ideas from. So what do you make of these interesting discoveries? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.